I'll show how to sew and cut a steek in a knitted sweater. You'll need the following materials to do this procedure. A steek is Scottish for to close, to shut, to stitch, or to enclose. And it refers to the extra stitches that you would add into a knitted garment to bridge the gaps where eventual openings will be, such as the front of a cardigan, or the armholes, or even a neck. Fair Isle garments traditionally have 10-stitch steeks, and they are not sewn. Rather, they rely on the microscopic hooks found in the Shetland wool fibers to hold together after cutting. Scandinavian steeks, on the other hand, can be 3 stitches wide, just 1 stitch, or even no stitches at all, and they must be sewn to prevent raveling after cutting. Now, sewn steeks work well for all fibers: cotton, silk, linen, even superwash wool, which are not good candidates for a non-sewn steek because they don't have the microscopic structure that Shetland wool has. Here is the sweater that I'm going to sew and cut. You can see the 3-stitch steeks. Here is one in the armhole, and here's the other in the neck. And you can see that the 2 side stitches I've worked as pearls in the background color. These will create a valley that makes it easy to sew with the machine. The center stitch of the 3-stitch steek is a knitted stitch, and I use the pattern color for that. And it makes it very easy to see the path the scissors must go when cutting. Now, it's important to put any live stitches you have onto a piece of waste yarn. Don't leave them on your needle because you're going to have to sew right through here to stabilize the steek properly. I'm going to sew 2 lines of stitching in each purl valley, and it's important to back stitch at the beginning of each line and at the end of each line. It's essential also to sew through all of the yarns. If you miss one yarn, then it's possible it will ravel when you cut it. So here I'll back stitch. Go forward again. And pull your knitting apart so that you can see the purl valley. Try not to get the bottom caught. Now I'll go back the other way and then do the same thing on the other side. Here I've turned the garment inside out because you can really see the stitching a lot more clearly. Here is the neck steek. I've got 2 lines of stitching on either side of the center stitch of the steek, and here is the armhole steek. I set my machine to 12 to 20 stitches per inch. I also use contrast thread here just so that you can see what I've done, but in general I would use a thread that is close to the background color of the sweater. Now it's time to cut. It really isn't a big deal to do this, but I would suggest that you practice with a swatch first if you are at all hesitant to do this. Put your hand in between where you're going to cut and the next layer so you don't inadvertently cut something that you shouldn't, and use very good sharp scissors. Now I'm going to cut right down the center of the knit stitch. And there we go. There's an opening. Now I'll do the neck. And now you can see how the neck has opened up. And the last armhole. And that's it. Once you have acquired the skill of sewing and cutting your knitting, you'll be empowered to cut and sew anything, including altering your garments. Thanks for watching.